minute before I get started. Point number D. I also completely spaced out because I'm trying to share this while I talk to you. Give me one moment, please. Oh, shit. I'm starting to get a little bit of a... I remember what I was going to say now. It's early in the day, but I've been going to bed really early, and I've been getting up really early, and I've been on video production all day. And I just stumbled upon something that I'd like to have an explanation for, if possible, for several reasons. And so, since not a lot of peeps are going to be around right now, I'm going to just attempt, to give what I think for the replay. If people end up joining in and listening live, I might extend this, but here we go. Okay. So first off, let me explain what I've found, and then give you a little bit of lead into it. Yeah, we're gonna have to do it that way. Okay. So, as most of you know, I've been trying to get examples of extreme creators that are literally just harassing people with death threats and threatening their children and their home. And I've been trying to send it into Team YouTube after a very long period of time of, attempting to try to communicate to the communities and let them know that, they would need to stand up to the stuff that's going on, regardless of friendships and things like that, draw lines in their communities, because if not, YouTube's just going to have to stomp in. Of course, it failed, so I sent in the worst ones. Now, imagine my shock when I see that Normal Bird Lady. I don't even know how I found this. I guess it was just because I'm finally kind of digging around different communities trying to, feel out where I'm going with content and what I want to say. So I guess it came up. But I found, let me go ahead and just read it to you because that'll help. And I kind of do need you guys' help with this. And let me read what it is, and then I'll explain why I'd like some help with this. But Normal Bird Lady says, I received this email from Team YouTube on November 11th. I appealed the same day, naturally, with my jaw on the floor, a pit in my stomach, ringing ears, and tears in my eyes. Having never received a single reprimand ever, because I've never broken or violated TOS, and it says help. Team YouTube says, hi, Normal Bird Lady. We've reviewed your content and found severe or repeated violations of community guidelines. Because of this, we've removed your channel from YouTube. We know this is probably very upsetting news, but it's our job to make sure YouTube is a safe place for all. If you think a channel severely violates policies, we take it down to protect others on the platform, but if you feel you made a mistake, you can appeal. And I've seen this happen many times. I've helped people get their channels back. I've helped people get their monetization back. If you remember the great man, Kev Baker, he's no longer with us. Had a channel with, he was on the radio and interviewed me for my QAnon investigation. Months later, had his monetization pulled, and we helped him get that back and get back on his feet on YouTube so that he could keep posting. And I really would love to help figure this situation out, so that I can offer my help if it's relevant. And since I had to say that, I'm going to have to tell you what I mean. So there is a huge issue out there with certain smaller communities. And due to YouTube being this enormous thing that it is, as you all know, sometimes smaller communities have creators that get away with a lot of stuff. Now, sometimes people lose their channels due to things that are that we don't know about, that are very wrong, and sometimes YouTube is on point, right? So reading Normal Bird Lady's email, there's something very interesting in it, because it says that Team YouTube reviewed her content and found multiple severe terms of service violations, or multiple or severe. And this is the problem I have, like, out of every person out there in these communities, like, stretching around. Sometimes you'll see someone get banned and you'll say, damn, they just get up there, they're really logical and all that. Though they do have a mean streak, or they do have a tendency of making edgy jokes or something. And look, all I know about Normal Bird Lady is back when her channel first popped up. But from what I saw, she seemed extremely respectful. She was very lost, not really good at following along, but gave good opinions from what seemed to be a very good place. As in, what I'm trying to say is, it seems as if she was trying to be honest and was just very naive with the platform and with her ability to kind of read the room. And just so that you know what I mean by that, she was supporting some extremely doxing creators and would be very much against other people while literally sitting next to someone that was threatening somebody. And for people who actively watch those channels, there's no way they have no clue what's going on there. Now, if the channel in question had been banned, then I could understand maybe why Normal Bird Lady would be banned. Because a lot of times what'll happen is, when Team YouTube investigates something, they'll find things and decide that certain creators, I can't go into it, but they're not as dumb as people think. And in fact, I don't think Team YouTube's dumb at all. I think they make mistakes a lot, but I think it's because of the algorithm. Long story short, what I need us to do, I'd like to help anybody who experiences this kind of thing undeservedly, regardless if I agree with them or not. Later in this, here in just a minute, I'll explain why I don't agree with Normal Bird Lady. I never really agreed with Normal Bird Lady, which is fine. That's literally the bread and butter of the platform, is getting into conversations with people that you don't agree with. Though, regardless of whether I agree with her or not, I'd never really seen anything from her that could even come close. Like, if you had a safe channel that was just completely wrong with their take, but like just crazily wrong with their take, though they were trying to say everything they were saying in the most respectful way, that's what I would say this channel is. And I'm not trying to be insulting at all. So let me go ahead and explain what I mean. So Normal Bird Lady liked to support, as I said earlier, straight out doxers. Never would look at both sides of any situation. And she had a pretty good take on Katie, and that's what she mainly talked about. But then again, I have no clue what happened as time went on. Like, I don't know if she got really deep into Katie's life. I don't know if she was talking about Katie's children. I don't know what happened. Some people just don't get YouTube. They don't understand YouTube because it's not that they don't understand other people's rights, I think, is the main problem. Because if you do understand other people's rights, when you go in to commentate, if you understand your rights and you understand their rights, even if you might be a little off here or there, you typically will always hit the mark, because you're making an attempt to express your opinion, to state what the facts are, to show people what the truth is, and at the same time respect the rights of the people that you're talking about. And in the community that she was a part of, there were a lot of people there to mislead her and make her think that certain types of content was acceptable, certain kinds of discussion was acceptable on YouTube. And again, there's a huge thing there. What I need to do is try to get a hold of someone that watched her channel, who I can sit down and talk about what she's been doing with her content for a while, or just have somebody hit up Navy or myself or whatever, hit up the Discord server and let us know what they saw in the last X amount of time, how they would describe her content in that last amount of time. But I also tagged her on Twitter and let her know that I'd like to interview her about what happened, because I would. I only because, again, I think that she does want, she is trying to share her opinion. I just think, again, she's just a little bit off. And hopefully I've been clear, because I'm trying to be extremely clear with what I'm saying before I say the next part, because I don't want people to take the next part the wrong way. But if people are going to take it the wrong way, that's on them. So there's another side to this entire thing. And this is the hardest part of content moderation. And all of the moderators out there for any channel will know exactly what I'm about to talk about, which is when you look at a comment in a live chat, because that's all a moderator is. Again, there's someone that moderates live chats. You look at a comment from somebody, I promise this relates to what we're talking about, and you say to yourself, that person needs banned. And you ban them, and they're like, what in the world? I literally didn't say anything wrong. And then you read it again, and you're like, Jesus, man, I was so really bad call. You feel me? So an issue with content moderation is a lot of times you aren't maybe hearing what you think you heard or seeing what you think you saw. But even more than that, you'll get the worst part of content moderation, which is someone who comes in and actually does deserve to be banned. And again, I'm talking about the live chat, but this can apply to all content moderation, which Team YouTube, of course, is the decider of the content that gets moderated as YouTube channels. But follow me here, because the worst part of content moderation is that people that are going to try and break the rules then are going to try to act as if they didn't, or they're going to try to stand really close to the line. So that's why I need to talk to somebody who watched Normal Bird Lady's content in the end there. Because truly, what I want to believe is that Normal Bird Lady, that this is a mistake. Again, I only saw her channel in the very beginning. And I stopped following her once I realized that she wasn't going to apply her criticisms fairly. Though, again, that's something people will sometimes take time for a person to be able to notice how they were caught up and got themselves to that position. And so nothing I saw from that channel made me think they need to be banned. And I need to first figure out whether they deserve to be banned or not, and then offer them the help of getting their channel unbanned, as long as I can kind of confirm that. So I just want to make that clear. Like I said, I just tagged Normal Bird Lady in response to where she posted about YouTube deleting her channel. After I went in and made sure that it was banned, made sure that, everything appeared as it appeared. Asked her for an interview. Of course, it wouldn't be live. This would be me interviewing her to figure out, if I can help her get her channel back or not. But therefore, if you know anyone out there that would be able to assist me in that and determining that, again, I don't have to sit down and talk to them, but I would like to maybe just get a few details together and then figure out what we can do. So let me use the end of this space to go just a tiniest bit deeper with what I was saying about content moderation before I disconnect. So one thing that you'll notice from people like Molly Go Lightly and people that fit the bill of what she does, which is will go and get angry and get jealous or whatever at another YouTuber, will dox and threaten them and then delete the content very quickly and then act like it didn't happen. One thing about those people, again, is that it's possible that this channel was banned because of something they either were participating in or whatever. Now, this is what's really weird about it. I just don't see that. It's so hard for me to look at that at Normal Bird Lady and think that that's the case. But also, due to the company she was keeping and the people that she was defending, it wouldn't blow my mind if I found out that that was the issue. Other than one point, which is, how is it that the channel that she was supporting is still up? That channel would go first before any other channel would go. Because if Normal Bird Lady, let's say, and because again, I don't know what her recent content was, but if Normal Bird Lady, let's say, was lying a lot or low-key harassing or something, right? YouTube does step in and ban people for that kind of thing. And the way that it differentiates that is whether or not they have clear evidence. And this is my opinion, by the way. Nobody has Team YouTube's side on this. But from what I've seen over the years, Team YouTube can kind of determine whether someone is basically lying about things purposely and then trying to present it as otherwise constantly. And I have seen channels that get banned for that. It's called deceptive practices, or it's called, but there's a bunch of things in the TOS. And a lot of times it'll happen around like a product. A product will be labeled by the FDA that it shouldn't be consumed by humans. But of course they have a stock of it. So they're going to go out there and make videos and try to sell it and just act like they don't know that the FDA labeled this product this way recently, so that they can try to get rid of their stock, get their money back and get out, whatever it may be. And that's just an example of what I mean. And Normal Bird Lady talked about Katie, but I've been told that she was talking about AZ and a few issues that AZ was having. So anyway, even if I don't determine that either, number one, Normal Bird Lady should be helped to get her channel back, as in Team YouTube didn't make a mistake or anything, or even if I determine that I'm just not going to help, I'm just going to stay out of it because of the company that she keeps. And again, I'm not saying that's true. I'm just saying if that happens, I still would like to know about channels that are in the sphere of this community that YouTube decides to take down. And I'd like to know why, because it is just amazing to me that it's been taking us so long to get YouTube to really step in and do anything with channels that are openly on their platform, doxing constantly, threatening kids and threatening people constantly, just literally breaking the most vicious TOS violations you could ever think of. And while we're sitting here trying to determine whether YouTube is going to allow this on their platform or not, which they already don't allow it, of course, I end up finding out that a channel who last time I saw it just sat down and gave their kind of biased or misread opinions constantly against bigger YouTubers. So now I do want to do one thing differently when I talk about this in the future, and I'll do it real fast, which I want to be able to make sure people out there know the issue that gets people banned and how to not get banned. Because I'm under the impression that we should all know what the rules are. And if we want to make a decision to break the rules, then we, should be banned. Because these are platforms, and the rules should be clear so that we know. Like my thing here, and this is literally why I've had to change my content since back in the day, when I was owning the platform, big views and stuff. YouTube's rules kind of pushed up against the stuff that we were debunking. So, I made the decision to just do other content regardless of the outcome. So there are a lot of people out there, if they can know what the rules are, they'll follow them, and they'll do their best to not break them, which is just about everybody. It shouldn't even be that hard. So what I want to say, though, real quick is we are supposed to be coming out and giving our opinions on things that other people are choosing to make public, or that we have the right to talk about, as in it's public, right? We also are supposed to follow community guidelines that, if you actually read them, and this is why I think so many people in the cater community just don't understand why they're so disliked by so many people. Those rules seek to allow you to be able to make jokes, be funny, do serious responses, serious commentary. But at the same time, they have to be able to protect people from people that would maliciously target someone. And that's why when we start to observe channels, we realize, okay, this account definitely is being malicious and isn't joking, isn't providing commentary, literally is just bashing someone. It's how we're able to come to determinations on specific channels pretty accurately. You get me? Because I think that I don't want to think that Normal Bird Lady, let's go back to the beginning of the subject so I can get out of here, violated the rules. But I do want to talk about the possible rules she could have violated real quick. That way we have a complete little discussion before I jump here. Because I do think we're going to be seeing a lot more of this in the future. I think we're going to see a lot more of these smaller creators getting banned from the platform. And one thing we're going to have to do is, there's going to be a lot of people that we disagree with that we're going to have to help get their channels back. Because again, I warned about this for literal years with the time that I gave to these smaller communities. I said the minute Team YouTube comes in, or whether they're coming in because they were sent clips, or because there was a lot of reports, or they noticed something, there will be errors in banning. I've been very vocal about this. Anyone that's watched me knows this. And it's just something that always happens. And that's why it does suck to look and see that literally around the time that I'm reporting certain creators and Team YouTube is peering into this community for what could possibly be the first time, now we're starting to see channels that go down, and it just doesn't make sense, you know? And yeah, I will take the time out of what I do to try to help those people. And so therefore, if you do know anything about this, or if you're someone, not someone who's never talked to her, but someone who has, if you have a way to, maybe if you actively talk to her, and you can let her know that I'd like to just take 5 minutes of her time and ask her some questions, or to hear what she has to say. And now she is on Twitter. And therefore, if she's not comfortable talking to me or one of my mods, she could very easily upload a video to Twitter. She could go live on Twitter. She could do a Twitter space. Whatever's comfortable for her. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know what to think. I want to say that it's sad, but at the same time, and let me go ahead and get this, because I got a bit, off track. I want to talk about what it is possible for Normal Bird Lady to have broken the rules and done. And again, not saying any of this happened. One thing I've been trying to communicate to the caters is that you cannot literally just make video after video after video after video at a person and milk money out of that person. You can't do it. And that's why, if you look at my content, it won't matter who we're talking about. When the people come up that we talk about, it's because of what they've done, what they've posted, it being relevant to a story we're covering, or something that happened that we're covering. A fraud raiser, a community issue, a claim. I don't have to give examples, because literally you can just click on my channel. And so when you click on my channel, it's very easy to tell that we are talking about the things that people are doing in our communities. And it's very easy to see that and compare that to, and if you pick a cater out there, some of them literally dig into Katie's personal fucking life, like, or just anyone's, in extremely inappropriate ways, which is why you will notice a lot of the caters will obviously act as if they will project and say that others are obsessed and not themselves. You get me? When, you know, if you do look at the terms of service, YouTube is trying really hard to take down content creators that are basically hate attacking someone. But at the same time, they don't want to silence people who are giving some opinion or talking about it for a reason. And it's why I've always said you should not protect just the people that you're talking about by being very specific with what you're talking, like the post that you're referencing, the evidence that you're referencing, the thing that happened, what was said. But you should also be very specific for yourself. Protect you and protect what you're talking about. Make it clear, make it obvious. Because let me give you an example. Let's say for 6 months, a YouTube creator pops up. They've literally never been on the platform, never done nothing before, and they go live and just judge Katie's personal life. And then for a few months, you notice, they start talking about her, either religion or lack of religion, or her husband's religion or lack of religion. And instead of weighing in on an opinion for it, or talking about it for some like reason or something, that people start to notice that they're being very insulted and judgmental and kind of hateful or nasty or whatever words you want to use. And then that channel gets hit. It's pretty obvious what they got hit for. Because again, you have to remember, you're talking about people's rights, and they have a protected right to religion without being hated on. Now, again, there's a line that's drawn, because people out there on the internet will argue religion every day, all day sometimes. There's entire communities that exist to either criticize a religion, argue a religion, discuss a topic in a religion. And again, it's completely different than picking on a person, targeting them for their religion. Do you see the thing? Do you see what I'm saying here? So, you know, I know that the caters like to bring up Katie's husband's religion. In fact, I had just, not even talked about Katie or Todd in a really long time. And there was, for some reason, I stumbled upon these tweets and I pulled them up to make a point in one of my last streams. And I'm talking about how they're being like completely against terms of service and targeting these people and hating on them because of their religion. Not because of a criticism, not because of a reason, not because of, literally because of them, right? And the only reason the caters have ever gotten away with any of the stuff you've seen them do like this is just because they haven't been reviewed by YouTube. So Team YouTube, for whatever reason, it reviewed Normal Bird Lady. If this is the case, it's highly possible they'll make the same decision for every other cater out there. Mark my damn words, people. In fact, I'm not making the prediction right now. I made this prediction years ago when I tried to warn this community that if they kept fostering the pettiness, the hatefulness, and all that insanity that you guys have heard me criticize, so I'm not going to repeat it now, they would eventually get to a point where their community would be in jeopardy. So now we are set with a task. What we have is on November 11th is when she was notified. And Team YouTube did designate that they reviewed the content. Okay? So this was a decision made due to actually looking at the content that's there, not just like a report that came in that they referred to. And I'm going to tell you now, people, if Normal Bird Lady goes down, and goes down because YouTube literally watched the videos and decided that this kind of content toward a family who decided to do YouTube and then got some subscribers, if they decide that that violates the rules, then not the Katie criticizers. I do think there'll be maybe 20 to 25% of the Katie criticizers will most likely lose their channels at some point, but a good 100% of the Caters will lose their channels. There's just no way. In fact, their time is numbered. If Normal Bird Lady was taken down due to a content breach, I'll go as far as to say that most likely the community out there that does similar content, which is long form content that constantly, basically, I could say EK Krusty. I could literally use her as the primary example, which her channel's already, like, we're all guaranteed to be reviewed between 50 and 100,000 subs. But there are many reasons why our channels could be reviewed at any other time. Point number 2 here, they don't just review your public or unlisted videos, your private and deleted videos usually are the first reviewed. And also, this is why I have spoken, even though I disagree with them to such a fundamental level. I would go as far as to say that some of them I really, really dislike, okay? And yet, if you look back, the criticisms I've given were criticisms that if they would have listened to, it would have been able to save their channels, if this is what's going to happen. Though, if my mods are around later, not only do I need you for this reason, and this is going to be pretty important. In fact, I hope Normal Bird Lady pops up, actually comes to talk to us. I hope we can help her get her channel back. These are my hopes, right? If she didn't do anything, wrong there that I don't know about, I do hope that that's the case. I mean it. And yes, I can help her. I've helped many people in the past. And if she doesn't feel comfortable talking to our community, she could literally just do a Twitter video, put it up, and describe what her content has been about for the last few months, especially maybe going back 6. And then what she thinks got her dinged, and just be extremely honest about it, because even if she made a mistake, most of the time I've noticed that people can appeal to Team YouTube and they can literally tell them, like, listen, I didn't realize I wasn't supposed to do that. I'll delete the content. I won't do it anymore, but I want to be able to post. What I'm saying is I can help her, even if it is not a good outcome. Though, I mean, it literally will take pure dead-on honesty from her and from what happened for us to get there. Okay. No, do I think that she will? No, I don't think she will. I think she might have fleed. I think she might have flapped her parakeet. Isn't that the kind of bird she had? Because I love that little bird. She might have flapped her parakeet wings and flown away. But regardless if she did or not, this is important, y'all. This is what I've been talking about. This is very important. So mark my words, and I will see you in a little bit. All right, give me just a second to share this again. Just want to let the peeps know real quick. I hope I pushed the damn record button on this thing, because I do not want to have to do this again. All right, so in my last stream, oh, son of a bitch, phone thing. Here we go. In my last tweet, in my last Twitter space, I had talked about Normal Bird Lady losing her account. And because I'm actively right now in DMs with Team YouTube, I would be able, like, I literally just messaged Team YouTube like yesterday or the day before, and they wrote me right back. And that's pretty rare to have an active conversation going on with them, because that's the hardest part of trying to help with anything going on the platform, is getting in communication, not with a bot from Team YouTube, but people there. So in my DMs, there's a lot of different copy pasta, like algorithm responses you can get when you try to get a hold of Team YouTube. And most of you have seen, because I pulled it up on stream, I showed you guys one of their responses to me just so you could tell the difference, and showed you how I knew the difference. This might have been a couple weeks ago. So the thing that, surprised me about my conversation with Team YouTube is that I had to write them relatively recently, and they, like I said, wrote me back as a human would. So what I did was I went to Twitter and I was trying to figure out what I could figure out again to try and help Normal Bird Lady get her channel back. As long as she didn't threaten to beat up a baby or something, right? Trying to figure out what the, deal was here, so that I didn't waste Team YouTube's time just by, letting them know, hey, help this channel out. They're saying that they were unfairly banned and they shouldn't have been, yada, yada. So I was scrolling on Normal Bird Lady's Twitter on her last one, making sure I didn't miss anything, because typically what you'll have happen when this happens to a channel, they all rush to the social media account, the people that watch, once they realize the account's down, and they'll tag Team YouTube, which a few of her audience members did. It was really strange, though, because there was a few of her audience members that were just being these people are just some fucking, gross people, some of the stuff they say. You could obviously, so what do I mean? Some of them obviously had watched her videos. If you want to test me on this, you can go look. But a few of them were literally making fun of her and shit for losing the channel. And this, I thought, was going to bring me closer to coming to a determination that maybe she even got mass flagged or something, or, because people making fun of her for losing her channel, or just saying things that are a little weird or whatever, in a jokey way, over something really serious like this that obviously is probably affecting this person, especially if you look at her last tweet. Thought I was getting close. Anyway, though, that I was quickly reminded. It's been a while since I've, looked at anything involving their community, because we've been busy for months busting a new fraud raiser, doing other content, tracking the Elon Twitter thing, and just all the other stuff that we're doing. Launching a few brand new games launching that we're playing, and all that stuff, We've been really busy. And I just realized that I'm not going to help someone that who them and the people who they closely associate with act like children. So, it's sad. It sucks, because honestly, I don't like censorship. It's the thing I complain about the most. In fact, when Jordan Sather's channel got banned a long time ago, it was actually before he got perma-banned, his channel got banned. And I immediately uploaded a video basically speaking against his channel being banned, as much as he is literally the, one of the just grossest creators that was around at the time, one of the most manipulative, nasty creators. I just don't like censorship. I just think it's something that should be wielded in those kind of really extreme circumstances. But you know what? I'm holding my ground when it comes to their community, and if they want to act like spoiled little kids, then they can try to get help on their own. I rescind my offer.